Hi, so we're back here again at the Brigus Brewing Company for the third segment of what we started. Today I'm here with John Brown, the new brewmaster and part owner of the brewery. The first thing I'm going to do, just to get everything aside, I'm going to present him with his official certificate that he just finished his online course. So John Brown, as the brewery owner, along with myself, he is a partner with me on this operation.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. I'm very excited. This is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the learning that's going to be involved with this craft. There's a lot of science behind it, and there's going to be a lot of information that I need to consume, and I'm just really looking forward to this opportunity, and I'd like to thank you for that. And yeah, I'm excited to get started, I gotta say.
Robert, what has been done since the last time we've met?
So there hasn't been a lot of actual work on the property since the last time you were here, but a bunch of different ideas that have been taken from different people. All right, one of them was I was here with the guys they were going to do the fireplaces, and they looked at the ceiling here. As you can see, John was a bit of a tall young fella, so when he was in here a couple of weeks ago, the ceiling was only 7.5 inches, and I had Anthony and them have a look at it, and we basically took the ceiling down, and the boys put all new trusses up to make sure everything was supported. So we've raised it up, and we're able to do this now, and we're able to put a nice sign there going into Bridgieland's tap room.
Great.
So this is one little thing we've done. Again, trying not to hurt the structure. You know, we've taken down this one part wall, which we've got a couple of timbers to do the mantles, and now we've opened this up a little, and it makes the room actually look bigger.
Oh, it's way different in here now.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one thing that we've done since you've been here the last time.
Last time, Robert, we spoke of this room and you had some different plans, but now they've changed. Do you want to let us know what you've thought?
Yeah, back to the Fireplace guy, Brad, when he was in here from Venture Vacuum and Fireplace. They suggested, why don't we do a propane fireplace here? And I said, well, okay, well, it would save me on trying to figure out how to fix that molding. So they come up with this great suggestion that we're going to box this out here. We're going to put a nice propane fireplace in, vent it out through the wall. But the nice thing about this, I spoke to Rita across the street, and there used to be an old cast iron fireplace right here. So we're actually going to bring in this special fireplace that has this really nice cast iron and is going to look the 100 years, 150 years old that the actual original one was. And these little shelves here are actually going to come out. We're going to put them somewhere else. And what we'll actually do here is we'll have a nice fireplace here, and maybe a table and a couple of chairs, and the same thing over here, a table and a couple of chairs.
Nice.
So it'll just be a little dining experience here for the people that come in here, not just to drink some craft beer. They'll actually have something to eat in here.
Nice.
So Robert, it feels a little warmer in here. Last time we could see our breath. What's happened?
Yeah, well, of course, you know, we're in Newfoundland and the weather has warmed up a little bit. I think one day we had 13 and the next day we had -3, but we did have one heater re-hooked up there just to give us a little heat, because we're going to actually start a test brewing series today with 4 different styles. Myself and John are going to do that.
Robert and John, I see you got some water up here now, and you got some boxes that has some brew on there. What's going on up here?
Yes, we finally got some water running at the tap room, or the tap house that we'll call it. And today myself and John have gotten together, and we're going to actually start 4 test brews in buckets. This is basically the basic way of making beer. I personally have been making beer and wine for about 20 years now, so I'm well versed in it. John has done his initial course, and I'm going to give him a little hands-on today. Today we're going to be making a stout. We're going to make a New England IPA. We're going to make a red pale ale, and we're going to do a continental pilsner. So we're going to learn today. John is going to see the process of the original You know, thing you have to do is sanitize, make sure all your buckets, 23 liters, are sanitized really well, because if you don't have clean buckets, you're not going to have clean beer. We'll make a mash out of brew kits. So this is a little advanced, because when we actually go into the brew house, we're going to actually learn how to make a proper mash from just ingredients, from the hops and the barley and water. And I made 4 styles here about 2.5 years ago in this house. But I used tawny water. Nothing against tawny water, but this is a Brigus Brewery, and we're going to see how the beer comes out now using Brigus water. So we're pretty excited here today. This is a very exciting day. I mean, 3.5 years ago I mentioned this to John, and timing is everything. You know, everything has aligned properly now, even though we're into a pandemic. Yeah. So
I feel the same way. I'm very excited about the opportunity, and this is the beginning here today. I'm gonna learn. Like I said, I'm gonna learn it through education is one thing, but getting the hands on with somebody with good experience is definitely something else. So looking forward to today.
Out of all of the styles that you're going to brew, do you have a favorite?
For me, it'd probably be the hazy IPA. That's really the type that I've been drinking at the other breweries and stuff, and it seems to be one of the most popular. Although ale and lager is really starting to come back now.
So if you're not familiar with the craft brew industry, just to give you a quick idea of what the different styles, basic differences are. John likes the IPA obviously, because he likes this hoppiness about the beer. I'm personally a stout guy. I never really loved craft beer, but I went over in Ireland and up to a big craft festival in Quebec. And I'm a coffee drinker, so in the morning I'll get a nice black coffee, as dark as it can get. And I drink it all day.
It works for you.
So by the afternoon, I actually got a pretty well a stout in my hands, because it's like a cold beer. And so I like the stout. There's a real coffee taste. Of course, you got the Pilsner, which is, you know, your Coors Light, your light beers, and your lagers, which are like your Dominion, your Black Horse. So that's like a Newfoundland beer. So the most popular here in Newfoundland will probably be the lagers and the Pilsner. But, you know, more and more people are coming into the province, you know, from Europe and other places, and you see the stout is really popular, and the IPA seems to be, it's going gangbusters. Next week to do a sour, actually. And that's that'll be a bit of a challenge in small bucket form like this, but we're going to give it a shot, because Bob Bartlett is looking for his own namesake beer, and we're going to have a Bartlett sour.
So who is Bob Bartlett?
So Bartlett was one of the more famous names in Brigus. He was an Arctic adventurer for a couple decades, I would imagine.
Sealing, he was a big sealing captain.
Sealing first, yeah. And then
he used to come into the harbour, and they said, you know, his sisters had a house out in Brigus, and he would never stay there. He would go visit them, but he would always stay on his ship.
Yeah.
And he would bring in particular animals. He actually had a live polar bear here. He was the first person to actually capture a live polar bear.
Wow.
And it actually was displayed, they had it up in the yard at the sister's house.
Wow.
Yeah. Walruses, same thing, have live walruses. So Bob normally would never sleep off the boat. He would always stay on the boat. Yeah. He was a bit of an introvert.
But Hathor Cottage is a National Historic Site here in Brigus, and that's
seen it.
Yeah, and that's his museum basically.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Bartlett, there's a lot of love around the town for Bartlett. The Bartlett name is still around here.
Yes, yes, still here 400 years later.
Like I say, he's not as well known. Most people know who Perry is, but most people.
But it's
don't
funny,
know
they would learn about him in New York, because he was either Port
He spent a lot
here
of time here. Yeah.
or Port New York. So he worked for the New York people going up to the Arctic on expeditions.
It was during Bartlett's time that they built the tunnel.
Yes.
Because there was so much seal coming and so much catches of fish. The harbour was actually pretty full, so they drilled a hole through the tunnel, blasted a hole through the tunnel, so that they wouldn't have to go up over the rock. They just come straight through. And that's why that hole in the rock is out there. So, and it's probably our most famous tourist destination in Brigus. It has been since I was young. It's the tunnel on the beach.
Robert, you got the Brigus Brewery starting. What are you doing with the back of the trail?
God. Well, I do love t-shirts, you know, I mean, that is my main business. I am the t-shirt king of Newfoundland, there's no doubt about that. We've sold millions of them. But anyway, yeah, I was down to Baccalieu a couple of weeks ago, met Mark, the owner, nice guy. I was there with a buddy of mine, and just wanted to discuss some things about what's going to be happening up here at Brigus Brewery. And you know, I bought the shirt because there is a very large camaraderie around the craft brewing industry. Whether I go to Bannerman, or if I went to Port Rexton, or if I went to Landwash, or if I went, you know, Rough Waters, all of the breweries around Newfoundland, we're all pretty friendly. On social media right now, there's probably 5 or 6 different groups, craft brewers groups, that talk about different things, that try to pool resources, to try to bring in grain and oats and barley and stuff and ingredients, because we are on an island. It's very expensive to get anything here, you know, so the larger shipments we can bring in, the cheaper it is for all the brewers themselves to keep their costs down, which is huge here. And yeah, so I'm wearing Baccalieu. I probably bought this 2 weeks ago, I think, yeah, and I've worn it probably 4 times. Very proud to wear this t-shirt, and I hope someday that Mark will wear my Brigus shirt. So we're outside now of the tap room of Bridgie Lambs, and the reason for that is I just want to show that we've got some nice, we call them the Brigus rock formation that the structure is on. It definitely came over from Ireland. If you're ever over in Ireland, there's a lot of rock walls. They didn't use wood, and a friend of mine actually gave us this really decorative concrete slabs or blocks. So I've got a local Brigus guy, Vince. He's going to come by and do a base there and put this up and make it a little bit more decorative, just to give it a little better look instead of just the raw rock that's showing there. Over here we've got Anthony and got it all laid out. This is basically where the brew house is going. So we've got it all pegged off. So just waiting to hear back now from Service NL, our friends of course, who are hoping that we're going to get another brewery on the go, and then we'll get the excavation guys in, and they'll clear the grass off, and we'll start getting the footing, and maybe the next time you show up here we'll have a brew house up.
So the brew house, that's going to be where all the tanks where the beers host?
Yeah, so the brew house in a brewery is actually where, you know, all the magic happens. That's where John is going to do his craft and, you know, churn out all the different beers that we're going to create here. So, you know, I'm going to try not to commercialize the brewery too much, because we are in a nice little town with residents all around. So it's more going to be a tour. This window here will be transformed into a door. You're going to come out the door. Right here, you're going to walk into the brew house. There's going to be tanks all along that wall, and the actual brewery is going to be there in the corner, and tanks along here. When you actually walk into the door, you go up over a set of steps into a mezzanine. You look down at the brew house, or all the brewery and everything. You come back down over the stairs during the tour. You go underneath the mezzanine. There's going to be some tables and chairs. Pandemic social distancing, of course, right now, so that we're only going to have 12 people per tour. We could accommodate up to 30. They're going to do a tasting. They're going to learn how to actually pour a craft beer, or a draft beer as they say. And after they leave the tour from here, we're going to, I mean, it's a big spot. It's 30 by 40. They're going to come over on this side of the brewery where there's a garage door and there's a mill room. And then they're actually going to exit the actual brew house and go back in through Bridgie Lambs, and they're going to go through a tunnel, and they might hear some stories and stuff just to keep the whole tour alive. And then they'll enter back into the tap room and be able to enjoy one of their favorites of the taste that they had. And also we're going to have something to eat hopefully here, and we're going to have a big deck out in the front so that the tourists, you know, can enjoy out on the deck with the lovely sun that we have here in Brigus.
Robert, the last time we were here, the telephone company showed up and you said there was never a telephone in this house. Was there any problems getting a telephone line in here?
Oh no, no real problems. I mean, everything in Newfoundland seems to take a little longer. As you know, we're a half-hour distance from everybody else. But I think on the third trip they finally got the phone hooked up, and haven't had any calls yet. But you know, I mean, we're open on August the 14th. And impossible. Hello, Brigus Brewing Co. Hi, yeah, no, we're not open yet, no, but we are taking bookings if you're interested. Yeah, we got a tour-based craft experience happening, and 12:15, 1:15, 2:15, 3:15, 6:15, 7:15, you pick it. But you need to go on our app. It's called Brigus Brewing Co. And pick your time. And once you get that in, yeah, it'll go. Everything will go through the app, and take it from there. But listen, the 14th of August, which is normally when the Blueberry Festival starts, we should have our doors open. So look forward to seeing you then. All right, great talking to you. Bye-bye. Wow, that was pretty cool. So I think we might have got our first booking for the tour. Excellent.
Congrats.
Thanks.